Hi, my name is Amanda Robinson. I am the Digital Gal, and today I'm going to be walking you through the difference between boosting a Facebook post and creating a post with Facebook's Ads Manager. So today we're going to be talking about going beyond the boost button. So who this is intended for is people who have been dabbling with Facebook ads. So you've maybe tried doing a few Facebook ads, but you haven't really dug in deep and gone all the way into the underbelly of Facebook Ads Manager because it may just be a little bit too intimidating. There may be a few too many choices, or it's just something that you really haven't had the time to dedicate to it yet. So you keep just reverting to the easiest thing, which is clicking that lovely boost button on your Facebook newsfeed for your page, adding a little bit of marketing dollars behind it, and getting some success out of it. So what I'm going to talk to you today is I'm going to show you the difference between what type of results you can be getting when you're boosting a post versus when you start using Facebook Ads Manager. So let's first start with what is a boost. So when you're boosting a post on Facebook, that's what I like to call the training wheels of Facebook ads. It is a slimmed down, skinny latte version of Facebook's ads interface. So Facebook is basically eliminating out all of the complicated ad buying decisions and all of the really in-depth little nuances that go along with creating Facebook ads. They're eliminating all of that, and they're just giving you a streamlined set of questions. Who do you want to serve this to? How much money do you want to put behind it? And how many days do you want to run this ad for? And you get to promote that ad for a set period of time. Usually with people when they're boosting posts, they're usually boosting posts for, $10, $20, $50. So when a post is performing really well, you can put a little bit of ad dollars behind it and get even more success out of that. And then what is Ads Manager? Well, Facebook's Ads Manager is the interface that Facebook uses to deliver its ads network. So you can create ads with a little more strategy. You have way more options behind the scenes, and I'm going to show you those options. We're going to dive into that here shortly. And why would you want to be using Ads Manager versus Boost, even though it has a little bit of a learning curve to it? Well, once you migrate up into using Ads Manager, you have the opportunity to make your marketing dollars a lot more efficient. So it's worth it. It's worth learning the difference. Okay, so why don't I just dive in, and I'm going to screen share with you, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to walk you through a boosted post, and then I'm going to walk you through creating an ad in Ads Manager. And as we're doing it, we're going to be talking about the differences between the two. So at the end of this, my goal for you is that I hope that you are comfortable going beyond the boost and actually opening up Ads Manager, diving in, playing around with it, and getting an ad live. All right, here we go. Let's do a screen share. So if I jump onto my Facebook page and I scroll down a ways, you can see some posts have a boost unavailable. Some posts have a boost available. So let's click that lovely boost button and see what happens here. So when I click that boost button, I'm going to pull this little logo off. There we go. When I click that boost button, I have the opportunity to put some paid advertising dollars on this Facebook post on my business page. Boosts are only available on a business page, not on a personal profile. So you cannot boost posts on your personal profile. You need to be using a business page for doing any type of business, and that's where your ads are going to take place. So on this post that I'm going to boost, when you click boost, you have this objective. You have two options for your objective. I can get more people to watch the video, which should be going after video views is my objective, or I can click connect and chat with potential customers, and that's going to add a send message button to the bottom of my post, and that's encouraging people to send the page a message and to open dialogue to start conversations. But if I leave that on, get more people to watch, and you know what? Because I flipped it over to the send message, it's putting that send message button on the bottom. I'm going to cancel that ad. Let's do that again. Boost post. It's because I did the send message. That's fine. There we go. No button. So you do have the opportunity, even if you want to promote it for video views, you have the opportunity to put a button there. Other than the send message, if I choose any of these other buttons, like learn more, for example, it's going to want my website or a website programmed in there. And that's, again, it's adding a button to the bottom of the post and sending people to a location outside of Facebook, with the exception of send message, which is going to send messages right within Facebook Messenger Okay, so I'm going to remove that and say no button. I don't want any button. So you have choices here, and it's this very streamlined number of choices. We're not getting overwhelmed with choices. What audience do we want to serve this ad to? Do I want by automatic, when it says automatic and recommended, it's automatically going after, in this case, it's going to serve this ad to everybody living in Canada. I'm in Canada, FYI. And everyone who is 18 to 65 years old plus. Well, let me tell you. Not everybody in Canada needs to see the Digital Gal. Not everybody in Canada needs to learn Facebook ads with the Digital Gal. And certainly not everyone from 18 to 65 plus. And not just in Canada. I mean, I'm worldwide. I help people with Facebook ads around the globe. So maybe this targeting is not really the right fit for me, but notice how it is the default and it is what Facebook is saying is recommended. So when it comes to Facebook ads, your targeting is like your secret sauce. That's where the real magic happens. Now you can click on create new audience here and go through the steps and create your own audience. And then you can save that audience and use it again and again. But you really are faced with some limited options here. Now I know based on my Facebook ads account, when I do this, it's defaulting. You can choose the ad account you want to work from. So if I scroll all the way down here and I see my ad account that I'm using, if I switch that over to the Digital Gal, I know that I have, if I scroll up here, back to automatic, I have other audiences. I can click on CL15 and I have a whole list of audiences in here. Where did those come from? Well, those are audiences that I created in the Audience Manager. So when we go into Ads Manager, you can access audiences and you can upload your own audiences, create custom audiences, do all sorts of cool things. And some of those are available here in the Boost pick list. But for most of you, you're not going to be seeing that. You're just going to be seeing the default. If I go back over to that one, you're just going to be seeing some very, very few targeting options that maybe are not serving you the best. All right, so carrying on. As we scroll back down here, automatic placements. So that's going to be, if I turn that off, here are my choices on where I want this ad to appear. By default, it has to appear on Facebook. However, I can choose to not put it on Instagram if I wanted to, and it's not eligible for Messenger because I'm not using the send message objective. However, by default, if I leave it on, those are my targeting options, my ad placement options. So you've got really 3 options, but technically you can only uncheck one of those. So very few options. Again, I'm calling this the training wheels of Facebook ads. Facebook is eliminating all of these huge choices and streamlining and just pulling your focus on where do you want to put this ad? Here are a couple choices, go for it. And then you have your duration and budget. How long do you want to run this ad for? And how much do you want to spend on it? And it'll give you some rough estimates on how many people it thinks it can reach. So say I wanted to run this for 4 days. If I try to go less, Facebook is saying, yeah, you might want to run that ad a little bit longer. So if I go 4 days, maybe I wanted to run this for $50. And notice how my account is in Canadian, which is why you see $50 Canadian, which is like, what, $2 American? No, I'm kidding. And then you have your payment, which is associated with your account, with the ad account that you have chosen. And then you can click on Boost Post. And I'm not going to click on Boost Post because I do not want to boost this post. All right, so just to recap here, these are the options when you're boosting a post. You get to choose 1 or 2 objectives, right? You can add a button if you want. So you can add a link off to a page outside of Facebook onto your website if you wanted to, or have people send messages to your page. You can choose your audience from a very slimmed down list of audiences to choose from. If you already have audiences pre-populated, you'll see some more options in here, audiences you've used before. Otherwise, your options are pretty slim. Now, as we scroll down, there's the placement of your ad. Where is it going to appear across Facebook's network? Is it going on Facebook, Instagram? Is it going in the audience network? Is it showing up in instant articles? We don't really have all of those choices here. We just have Facebook, Messenger, Instagram. And because we're not using the Messenger objective, it's not eligible for Messenger, so we have Facebook or Instagram. And then we chose our duration and our budget, and we have the ad account that we want to use that we've already set up our credit card with. So then I would click Boost Post, which again, I'm not going to do. All right, so let's go and take a look at what this ad looks like over in Ads Manager. I'm going to hit cancel and cancel ad. All right, so popping over into Ads Manager, and I have a couple different examples here for you. So in this example here, we have when you boost a post or when you create an ad, what Facebook does is it actually creates a campaign, an ad set, and an ad. Not to confuse you, but a campaign is where you set your objective. So if I pop back over, let me pull up that example again here. If I click Boost Post. So in this example, let's walk through it together. So an objective, you set your objective right here when you're boosting a post. Well, when you create a campaign, and Facebook is automatically doing this in the back end when you boost a post, your campaign is where your objective is set. And then at the ad set level, the ad set tab here in Ads Manager, that's where your targeting is set. Right here, your targeting and your placements of that ad. Those occur at the ad set level. Okay, and then on the ad level, this tab over here, at the ad level, that's where you set up the actual creative. Is it a video? Is it a static image? Where is it linking to? What's your ad text? And in this case, because we're boosting a post, it's using an existing post. So all of this information here, the campaigns, ad sets, and ads, it's all happening in the background when you create a boosted post. So you don't have to think too much about it. And again, I know I keep calling this the training wheels of Facebook ads, and training wheels is not a bad thing. A lot of us started out riding a bike learning with training wheels to learn to get our balance and to learn how it works. And the same happens with Facebook ads. You can learn how it works and get comfortable with it without being overwhelmed by using the boost button. That's okay. But I don't want you relying heavily on the boost button when you have so much more opportunity sitting in front of you. So let's see what this looks like. So we have our campaign. And I want to go to the boosted button, the boosted post example. So this is what a boosted post looks like in Ads Manager. So it has a campaign name, and it just names it the name of whatever text you put in the post. If I click on that, notice how it's brought us, it's one campaign selected. Now we're on the ad set tab. Remember, the ad set is where your targeting and your placement is being chosen. Okay, so the ad set, we're in the ad set level. And if I click on there, it's bringing us all the way down into the ad level. Okay, so now we're looking at the actual ad. If I want to click on this and preview, this is an older one that I did. This is just a post I boosted. I boosted the post, and I think I put $10 behind it just to get some engagement. And also for an example so that you can see what it looks like when you have a campaign from a boosted post. This is what it looks like in Ads Manager. From the campaign name, clicking on that, into the ad set tab, ad set, clicking on that. All right, so it looks a little confusing, right? Does any of this make any sense? Not really. Now, what does an ad look like when you've created it in Ads Manager? Well, before I get into the actual steps and all the more options that you have available to you, I want to just click on, I'm going to show you what a campaign looks like and why you might want to create a campaign using Ads Manager instead of just boosting a post. So again, here's a campaign. I've got a campaign name. Now, if I click on that campaign name, now we're at the ad set level. Wait a second. Why do we have more options? Well, I wanted to target more than one group of people with that same campaign all at once. So when you go to boost a post over here, you can only boost that post once. Once it's boosted, it's live, it's running, it's an ad in progress. You can either turn it off or boost it and turn it back on. That's it. So you can't run this to multiple audiences. Whereas with Ads Manager, remember at the campaign level, that's where we choose our objective. And when we're looking at boosting a post, you only have 2 objectives to choose from. I'll show you that we have a lot more here. So we've chosen our objective here at the campaign level, but now at the ad set level, I'm targeting 3 different audiences. And now if I click inside just one of these, let's go into this one here. If I click into one of my ad sets, now I'm looking at the ads and I have 2 different ads running inside that ad set. 2 whole different ads with different images. So I'm testing them against each other to see how well they perform. Now I couldn't do that if I boosted a post, because if you're boosting a post, you're just boosting that one single post and you're not running more than one post head to head with each other to see how well they perform. Whereas by creating ads using Ads Manager, you can. Plus, you have the ability to name your campaigns a little bit better and clean them up and be able to look at them on your reports and understand how they're performing. Okay, but wait, there's more. That is not the best part. Let me show you an example of creating an ad, using Ads Manager. And I want to start over because this is close without saving. It's an old ad that I had on the go in here. Let's see if it'll prompt me. There we go. Here's a fresh screen. All right, so this looks a little bit different than boosting a post. Do not be overwhelmed. I've got your back. Don't worry. On the left-hand side here, I'm going to walk you through. See, we have the campaign where you set your objective. We have the ad sets where you're going to set your audience, your placements, your budget and schedule. And then you have your ad where you actually get to set up the ad creative, what media you're using, and the format of the ad. So it's broken into those three portions, right? Well, if we look at the boost post, those three portions are up here. Here's your objective, and then down here is your audience and your placements. And then if we go all the way down, that's where you're setting up your budget. So it's broken up, and then this is obviously on the right-hand side, that's your ad creative. That's the actual ad itself. So back over into boosting a post, into creating with Ads Manager. When we're looking at creating an ad campaign and we need to choose an objective, look at how many objective options we have. How many did we have when we were boosting a post? 2. We only had 2 options. We basically had the option to go after engagement, or it's depending on what it was. In that one case I showed you, it was for a video, so it would have been video views or send message. So you can see those objectives over here. We have video views right here, and we also have down here, we have send message. So really when you're boosting a post, Facebook in that case was only giving us 2 options out of all these options we have available. So why would you want to have more options on objectives to choose? Well, depending on what objective you choose, it's going to spend your money differently, or it's going to cost you more or cost you less. So for example, there are objectives that I like to call cheap and cheerful because they're cheap and they're quite cheerful, and they really don't get you the results that you're really looking for, but they do have a time and a place. For example, reach. If you want to run a campaign and you just want to reach as many people as you possibly can for awareness, you just want to, it almost turns your ad into like a little billboard. You just want as many people to see it as possible. That's where you choose reach. If you want engagement, you want people to like, comment, share, click. You want them to take an action on that post with their mouse. Then that's engagement. Traffic. If you want them to click off of Facebook and onto your website or onto your app or onto your landing page, that's when you would choose traffic. Lead generation. This one is where I find a lot of folks who are new at Facebook advertising, they get kind of caught in this little pitfall here of they want leads. So they want to go after lead generation, and they want to create, when you use that objective, you need to create a lead form, which is asking for people's first name, last name, email address, phone number. You get to choose all those options on what information you want to ask them for, but it's a form, and people have to fill out their information, and they have to trust you and give it to you. And in order to do that, Facebook charges you a lot of money for that. So it's a more expensive option than just going after reach. And then we have conversions. So if you have your Facebook pixel on your Facebook page, on your website, your Facebook pixel living on your website tracking visitors, then you can have certain things that occur on your website that you would consider a conversion and have it set up that way. So if people sign up for a webinar, that could be a conversion. If people make a purchase, that would be a conversion. If they add to cart, that can be an event that you could call a conversion. And you can create ads based on all these different steps of your funnel. But again, in order to do that, there's a little more setup involved, and it costs you more money. So if you try to use conversions and you don't have any of that set up or running, it's just going to cost you a lot of money. And if you don't have enough conversions happening on your site at the same time or within a 1 week period, again, it's really not an objective that's going to serve you very well. So I know there are many options in here, and that's why maybe it's easier when you first start out to look at, okay, I don't want to deal with all that. I just want to boost a post. I get to choose one of 2 options. Good enough for me. Great. But really, again, let's look at this. If I was to just boost this post as is, I'm going to go after video views, so I want people to watch the video. And then if I just click on this automatic targeting, I'm going after people who live in Canada, ages 18 to 65. Well, maybe I do more business with clients in the United States. Maybe I don't want to boost that to Canada. Maybe I don't want 18 to 65. Maybe I want to send this to a custom audience of people who have visited my website. So there are so many more options here within Ads Manager that if you start to dig deep into or play around with these options, they end up costing you less money over time as you experiment with it. So for example, let's say rather than just having somebody watch a video views, or send message, which is the two options that I had with creating that boosted post, maybe I want to actually send traffic to a website. So I'll click on traffic. I'll just hit test and continue. All right, now notice on the left-hand side, campaign objective is checked off. Yes, we've chosen our objective. Now it's moved us into the ad set level. Well, we have a lot of options here at the ad set level. What do we do with all of this? Do not be alarmed. It is okay. So we just have some choices here. We have more choices than we had before. So traffic, where am I going to send that traffic? Am I sending it to my website? In this case, that's where I want to send it. Am I sending it to an app? Am I sending it to Facebook Messenger? Am I sending it to WhatsApp, the messaging platform? Do I want to use dynamic creative? If I click on dynamic creative, then what that's going to do is it's going to allow me, when I get to the ad creation level, it's going to allow me to choose multiple images, multiple headlines, multiple call to action buttons, and Facebook will mix and match all of those dynamically and serve out a whole bunch of different ads to my target audience, and it will over time surface the one that is performing best and start delivering that one more and more to the audience. Seems like a good idea, right? Well, depends on how much budget you have, because for every variation that you have of this, for every additional photo you add in, for every additional headline, for every additional line of text, it's exponentially creating a series of ads. And the more ads you have, the more budget you want to have to be able to support those ads. Otherwise, your test isn't really going to be good enough. You're not going to have enough data to really decide if it worked or not. So we don't want to use dynamic creative in this case right now. This is where you can set up your audience, and this is creating a saved audience. So you have more choices here. Maybe I wanted to add in United States. Perhaps I wanted to add in New Zealand. And perhaps I want to exclude somewhere. Let's go exclude Australia. I don't know why I'm choosing. There we go, Australia. It's just off the top of my head. I have nothing against Australia. Love you guys. So carrying on down, you have other choices, but here the difference is you also have the ability to use custom audiences. So if I click on custom audiences, I have other audiences that I have saved in here. So for example, anyone who has engaged with my Instagram business profile over the last 365 days, or my website visitors. Let's go website visitors, 180 days. I can go after, let's close those, anyone who's viewed any of the videos that I have on my video views. Anyone who has viewed any of my videos for 10 seconds or more from my Facebook page. This is an audience that I have created. That's an audience you have to update on the regular. But just to put this into perspective, you have more options to choose from here, including your custom audiences, not just saved audiences. A saved audience would be, this is creating a saved audience where you're using demographics and geography to choose people that you want to go after. Same with your detailed targeting, where I want to go after people who are Facebook page admins. There we go. So of the people who have watched any of the videos on my Facebook page whatsoever, who live in Canada, United States, New Zealand, but not Australia, and who are also an administrator on a Facebook page, that's my target audience. That's in this case, in this example. So you have more targeting options available to you here. Now, just as a heads up for those of you who are new, these audiences up here that I'm choosing from the custom audiences, I have already created those. Going into Ads Manager, into your menu, fly out here, and going into audiences. I'm not going to go there right now. That's a whole other training topic, and I teach that in my Facebook Ads 4-week training program, which is currently in session, but another one will be coming up shortly. So back to our options on creating an ad using Ads Manager, not boosting a post. Carrying on down, let's look at placements. So automatic recommended, but I'm going to click on edit placements. And when I click on edit placements, look at all the options we have. People, what? All right, let's go back to the boost post and see what that looked like. So if I scroll down to this little edit placements, so by default it's kind of collapsed. And if I want to expand that and say, yeah, let's go and change the placements on where this ad is going. Click edit. 1, 2, 3 options. And only one of them I can toggle on or off right now with these settings. So if I go back over into Ads Manager, look at all the places you can choose, pick and choose to place this ad or not place this ad. So we have the Facebook newsfeed, the Instagram newsfeed, Facebook suggested videos, the right column, Messenger inbox. You can put it in Facebook stories and Instagram stories and Messenger stories. You can put it, there are 2 other options here. If this was a video, and this example I'm setting up, remember I'm going after traffic, a traffic ad, which was my objective, so I don't have video options available here. I can put it in Facebook Instant Articles. I can put it in the Audience Network, which, by the way, the Audience Network, for those of you that are not aware of this, the Audience Network is basically apps. So think about it in this way. Think about it if you had a game, if you're playing a game like Scrabble on your iPad, and then to proceed, you need to watch an ad or you need to see an ad to proceed to the next stage. That's some of that ad inventory Facebook has access to. And that's an example of where ads could appear using the Audience Network. So when you leave all placements automatic, everything's selected. Facebook has them all selected, and Facebook will pick and choose where it puts those ads. And that's okay when you're first starting out. For the most part, I'd say that's fine. However, to put it in perspective, I've had a client, for example, who had an ad running, and it was going to all placements as Facebook recommends, but it was heavy delivering into one of those apps. So into the Audience Network. That's where they were getting all of their clicks. They were optimizing the ad. Their campaign objective was traffic. They had an automatic placement selected to go everywhere, and they were getting tons and tons of clicks, but nothing was happening. Nobody was buying. Customers weren't calling. It was just a whole lot of money being spent, a whole lot of clicks happening on their reports, but really nothing happening. What was happening is all of those clicks were taking place on the Audience Network, so inside apps, but their product and the customer base they're going after, they're not using those apps. They're not present in that location. It did not make sense for those ads to be placed there. So what I would have recommended is that they edit placements and basically uncheck all of these additional spaces. And in their case, and especially for stories, if you are putting an ad out there that is not formatted for stories in the vertical format, maybe you don't want to put it on stories. And maybe you don't want it in all these other fancy places. Maybe you just want the Facebook feed and maybe just the Instagram feed. Maybe that's all. But you do have so many more options here. Again, if I look back at the boosting post, you really don't have very many options to choose from. This is creating an ad with putting the blinders on. So it's keeping all of the distractions, all of the too many choices, it's keeping those out of your view and just asking you, what do you want to do in very simple terms? Whereas creating with Ads Manager, you have more control. So it's great on one hand to have Facebook put the blinders on and just walk us through step by step with very few choices just to get an ad up and running without being overwhelmed, because I'd rather have you creating an ad and have an ad running than do no ads at all because you're paralyzed with too many choices. So that's where I do stand behind a boost and say, it's okay if that's the level you're at, that's fine, but I want to get you up here because you have more choices, and these choices have the ability to make your marketing dollars more efficient. So if I got more results out of putting an ad on the Facebook news feed and say in Facebook, I want to say Instant Articles. Say I got huge results out of Instant Articles and maybe Instagram and Facebook stories as well. So maybe I got huge results out of those, but not as many results out of the Audience Network. So my ability to come in and turn off Audience Network and say, I do not want to place my ads there. It takes all those dollars, all those impressions that were being put into the Audience Network, and it's now rolling it up into these other placements that I've chosen, which I know are giving me better results. So I'm making my ad dollars more efficient by spending those dollars in the places where I know I'm going to get results. Same with my audience. I mean, if I didn't tailor up this audience and just went with one of the default choices here from boosting a post, and I went after all of Canada, 18 to 65 years old, because everybody needs to know the Digital Gal. Not so much. No, I want to use the more advanced functions here to narrow down my audience even more by using my custom audiences that I've created. And I want to be able to put some additional parameters on top of those custom audiences, not just use a raw custom audience. I want to say, okay, anybody who's watched my videos, but they also have to match this criteria. And they also have to match this criteria. So I'm narrowing my audience down and making it more targeted. And I'm just going to get on my little soapbox here quickly before I dive into the actual ad, the last stage there. My big soapbox moment here is, how do you make your marketing dollars more efficient when it comes to Facebook ads? It's all in the targeting. It's all in the targeting. So you could serve a really terrible ad to the right people. And if you are serving, it could be the worst looking ad, or it could just not really be hitting the mark all the way around. It's a terrible ad. But if you put that ad in front of the absolute right people who are at the right time in the right place, who know, like, and trust you and are ready to take my money, the ad is going to convert. It's going to make you money. Well, make you money. It's going to get you results, I should say. But if you could have the best ad in the world, the absolute Cadillac ad that is, it's hitting the mark, it's firing on all cylinders, it has everything you could possibly want in an ad, the perfect ad copy, the perfect image, or the perfect video, the best call to action, it can be doing all the right things. But if you serve that perfect ad to completely the wrong audience, I don't care how good that ad is, you're going to get zero results out of it. So what's the moral of that story is that it's your targeting. That's where all the magic is when it comes to your Facebook ads. And where are we heavily restricted when it comes to boosting a post? Let's go back over here and have a look. You are heavily restricted with your targeting. So this really is, Facebook is doing you a favor here by putting the blinders on and helping walk you through step by step to just get some ads up and running, which you will see some results out of. That's okay. But really it is, Facebook is saying, here, hand me some cash and let me go and play with it. Whereas in your case, you may be better off to be more targeted with your marketing, more targeted with your ads to get an okay ad in front of the right people. It has so much more potential for you than putting the right ad in front of the wrong people. Okay, so carrying on. So we've made a whole bunch of decisions here. Down here, we can set up our budget. Maybe I don't want a daily budget. Maybe I want a lifetime budget of $50. Because again, you don't have to, going through here, you don't have to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You can spend a small amount of money if that's what you're comfortable with. Just make sure by default your budget and schedule is, it's normally going to span it across a month. I don't want a whole month. Maybe I want a handful of days. And I'm just going to reset the start date because I've been talking for so long that it's now in the past. And there are several other options. You can use a lot of the defaults. For the most part. I'm going to click continue. All right, and continue. And here we have a lot of options, a lot more options to go and create an ad. So I can upload an image here. If I upload an image, let's go in here. Sure. Embarrassing photo. But anyhow, and then I put in my website URL, thedigitalgal.com. And then you have a whole bunch of other choices. This is my text. And this is my headline. This is the call to action button that you can choose. And Facebook is going to be pulling together a preview. I'm giving it too many choices at once, so it's having a hard time pulling the preview. There we go. So this is my text, this is my headline, this is my ad, and this one has a learn more button on it. I know my face is kind of covering a portion of that. Or rather than adding all of that in, you can up here. So you have other choices, other ad type choices. I can create a carousel ad, single image or video. I can use an instant experience are not available for this objective. I can also use an existing post. So if I click on this lovely little almost hidden button, tab, I can click on that and I can click select post and it's going to give me post options to choose from. So there's that one that we were playing with for boosting a post. And there it is. So it's an existing post. And then I can go through and I can do all the same things. I can add a button. I can make changes to it. I can edit this video if I want to. Add captions on here. So you have other options available to you when creating this. And what's my error here? Objective of a campaign requires creative with external link. So basically it's saying because I'm using a traffic objective, meaning I'm asking it to click through to a website that's off of Facebook, or it's asking it to click somewhere, it's saying this post doesn't have a link to click on, so you need to give it one. So you need to add a button, give it a URL, and I'm not going to hit update post because this is actually going to update my actual post on my page, and I don't really want a button on that. So I'm going to close that. But this just gives you the idea. If you look on the left-hand side, we're at the ad stage. So we've chosen our campaign objective, we've chosen our targeting, and we've chosen our ad placement, we've chosen our budget, and now we're creating the actual ad creative itself. In this case, we're using an existing post. So those are so many more options than if we're just looking at a boost post and we're just going through and boosting a post, right? So let me just sum this up. I'm going to bring myself back up on screen here. So let me just summarize what all of this means. Yes, there are a lot more decisions that you would have to make if you go through using Ads Manager to create that ad. But at the same time, if you're just using the boost post button, like I keep saying, it's like the training wheels of Facebook ads. It's what you can use to get comfortable and to get started. Another reason why advertisers don't like to move over into using Facebook Ads Manager is, let me show you, screen share here. Let's go back over to, if I'm just looking at my page, so right from your page, one of the options you have available is seeing how those boosted posts are performing. So up here, it's now being moved into Ad Center. I'm not sure if for some of you, this is rolling out. So there's an Ad Center tab. If it's not up here, you might have this little more button and more options down in here. But if you click on Ad Center, this is where they're moving all of your boosted post results. So if you boost a post, you're going to see it here. You're going to see the results in here. I can go and look at all ads these are all the posts that I've boosted. And why do I boost? I still boost. I still boost because I have my audiences that are already set up and predefined, and I can pick them from the pick list. If it's just a quick little hit, a quick little bump on a post, and I usually do it on a post that is showing signs of getting really, really good organic engagement. And generally, if I'm going to boost a post, it's because I want more engagements on it. I want more people to like, click, comment, share. And it's just a quick little experiment. I'm always testing Facebook ads to see what works and what doesn't. Now, here's something to note, though. If you go ahead and create an ad using Facebook Ads Manager, let me just close this ad and don't save. Close without saving, even though it's going to save it anyway and push me back into it when I go back. So looking at Ads Manager, there's a whole bunch of campaigns in here, and inside all of these campaigns, I have several ad sets. If I go inside, here's one with several ad sets. And if I go inside that, then I have several ads living inside that ad set. So there's so much more in here, and I'm not seeing those ads over here in the Ad Center. So I'm only seeing ads that have been boosted. So I know that a lot of business owners who are just starting out are very hesitant to move themselves over into creating ads with Ads Manager because they can't see the results on their cell phone, which is what they're used to, just boosting a post from their cell. The results are showing up on their page on their cell phone. They can look at the results and see how it's performing, get on the go information, which you don't have as much visibility to everything that's living over in Ads Manager on the go on your cell phone. You can download. Facebook has an Ad Center app that you can use, and Facebook also has the Pages app that you can use. But again, it doesn't give you the same visibility as being on a desktop and opening up Ads Manager and analyzing the results of your Facebook ads. So pulling me back here, I'm gonna bring us home. I'm gonna wrap it up here. So with all that said, what are some of the main reasons why, if there are so many barriers, why would you want to migrate up into using Facebook Ads Manager? Well, you have more options to choose from, which has the potential of saving you marketing dollars so that you're not bleeding out extra marketing dollars that are not serving you well, maybe on the wrong placements, maybe with the wrong audience. And you have the ability to sort of like tighten those little things up to be able to target and focus on the people that you have a higher potential of doing business with. And then on top of that, you have more options to be able to actually test things head to head. So say I want to run, rather than just boosting one post, creating one ad set, so it's one target and one grouping of placements, and then one ad. And that's it. That's all the boost post does. But if I want to test multiple things head to head to find out, does my website visitors audience perform better than my video views audience? Does do my ads perform better in Facebook versus Instagram? So if I want to be able to test these things against each other to find out where my marketing dollars are more efficient and where I should be replicating and repeating and doing more of those good things in the future, then you're going to want to be using Facebook Ads Manager. You won't be able to get the same visibility, you won't be able to get the same level of testing and the same level of comparison if you're only boosting posts. You need to get yourself beyond the boost button. You need to start getting out of that comfort zone and start getting into Facebook Ads Manager. Now, I know I showed you there are tons of decisions. There are lots of little, what I call micro decisions when creating those ads. But if you don't start somewhere, then you don't ever get comfortable with it. So my goal for you is that I want you to increase your confidence with it. You don't have to master it. You don't have to be good at it or know what all of those options mean the first time you go through it. The difference is just making sure you're navigating into Facebook Ads Manager and starting to use it. How do you even get there? Let me show you that part and then we will wrap this up, okay? So from Facebook, if I go back over to Facebook, let's go back over to Facebook, my page, so I'm in a familiar place that you might recognize. If I click on this top drop down, top right-hand side, I can go into Manage Ads. And that's going to bring me to the place where I find my ad account that I want to choose to use, and that will bring me right into Ads Manager. So that is how you get there. Back to me again. Okay. All right. So overall, it's okay if you're still using the boost post button. For those of you who have been doing it for too long, it's time to graduate. And for those of you who have never done a Facebook ad before, do not be overwhelmed by all of the options that are available to you when it comes to creating ads using Facebook's Ads Manager and creating the ad through all that process. There are a lot of decisions. A lot of them are already set by default from Facebook, and Facebook walks you through it step by step. So it's not as intimidating. I know I kind of bounced around as we were going through looking at the difference between, okay, here we're making these choices, and if we look at a boost post, that's where you find those choices. But overall, it's not as painful as it may seem, and it has so much more potential to save you a lot more money. And once you start to get a little more comfortable with it, that's when you can start creating more than one ad set within your campaign. So multiple different targeting, create multiple ads. So maybe I want to have an ad maybe I want to test a whole bunch of different images on an ad, leaving the same ad copy and the same call to action as is. Find out what's working better for you so your marketing dollars are working for you, not just sort of like sprinkling them off into the internet. Right. So that's my hope for you. I hope this helps increase your confidence to want to give it a try, and I hope that you will have some success going beyond the boost button. I am Amanda Robinson. I am the Digital Gal. I run a 4-week Facebook ads training program where I teach you in 4 weeks. I teach you more in depth on what we went over here, which is creating ads in week 1. Week 2, we go over audiences and targeting, and where does all the magic happen? It happens in your targeting. Week 3, we go over budgets and strategy, and in week 4, we go over reporting and analyzing those results so we can figure out how to make your ads better moving forward. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for watching this, and thank you for learning to go beyond the boost button. And I really hope this helps your confidence, and I really hope you give it a try. If you do, let me know. You can find me at anywhere across the web at The Digital Gal. Facebook is probably the best place to find me, facebook.com/The Digital Gal, Instagram at The Digital Gal, or my website, thedigitalgal.com. Thank you, everyone, and I will see you on the internet.